The price of Bitcoin continues to grind to the upside throughout the last few days. I will be explaining here the most important levels of resistance and support and looking at a little bit of Elliott wave theory because, yeah, without a doubt, we are hitting some resistance at the moment. And I'm going to explain how this resistance could actually be broken, okay? I will be going in detail here throughout the scenarios. And if I wanted to get into a short position, how do I need to get into the short, okay? And what do I need to see on the price action? I'll be explaining that. Now, if you did take a look at yesterday's live stream, we mentioned the possibility of forming an expanding diagonal with an ABC expanding flat right over here to then get this rally, right? Get that movement to the upside to claim $106,000. Now, this was actually the low. I unsuccessfully got into a long position here. I got stopped out at break even. And the price rallied, okay, as we can see today, a few $1,000s, claiming those highs of yesterday. So whoever got into this long position based on this analysis on yesterday's stream, congratulations. You know, the price, this was actually the low yesterday, and we actually rallying pretty nicely here, testing the highs. And it does look like it wants to kind of break, but we are hitting a lot of resistance, okay? So overall, let's go through the scenarios. I will explain also today has been a stop loss day for me. I did attempt a short trade in this zone, but the price was breaking through. So overall, just managing risk here and just got out of the position because the price really broke out very aggressively, okay? I'll explain that later on here throughout today's video update. But first of all, let's explain the bullish case scenario. Bullish case scenario is that we have finished a three-wave structure here where we have, basically finish the movement, right? In an ABC or a WXY, it doesn't really matter. And right now we are just forming a new rally to the upside, regardless if we are still in the C wave or in the third wave, right? Yesterday we did say this could be an A wave, this could be a B wave, it could be a 1 and a 2, and then we rally to the upside based on yesterday's video update. This was actually the low after this reaction at $104,000, guys. This was the low based on the bullish case scenario. So, do we have a possibility right now of continuing to the upside? Well, we have a problem without a doubt if we're considering this bullish case. We are hitting major resistance. It's the lows from last week, right? Round just below $107,000. We did have a strong base as support. And this is currently where we are facing, right now, the price action. It is also the value area low. So, yeah, you might think this is incredible resistance. This is an epic short position. It's not going to be that easy. If this is the valid count from yesterday, where this is an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, or a 1, 2, and 3, when we do see today's price action, you have your first wave, your corrective wave to the 50% golden pocket zone, and now this rally to revisit the highs, which is struggling. And, there's no doubt in my mind why, I don't have questions why it's struggling. We do have this massive level of support. It's kind of flipping as resistance right now, right? So, but what I do understand is that we could possibly attempt to break out, right? Because if this is your wave 1 and 2 or your wave A and B, you're forming now your third wave or your C wave. And eventually inside of that wave, you want to see a development of 5 waves to the upside. So this is why I'm very skeptical of this price right now, getting a rejection. If I wanted to get into a short position here, I know the danger, just realizing that the momentum could continue to the upside. So the best shot here also kind of, with the scenario of yesterday, we talked about the price rallying first and getting a correction, which is kind of what happened, right? You want to see that sign of strength, correction, and then move to the upside to revisit the highs, which is currently what it's doing right now. So if the price were to reject from this point, considering the bearish case scenario, which literally right now, instead of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in an impulse, it has to be a contracting diagonal. You're already overlapping your wave 1 over here. So now you need to start thinking of a contracting diagonal to the downside, which would be looking like something like this, right? Where we actually get rejection, okay? And then we come all the way down to the lows at $103,000. It's not going to be an easy short. Of course, a lot of people, I think, are going to try and attempt the short position here. This could still be a complex WXY. This is still very corrective. There's lots of overlap. So you could arguably discuss, hey, The big move is this one to the downside. We're possibly going to come down to the lows again. Now, I'm not too confident on this swing failure pattern. And if we do get a sign of weakness, which is a 5-wave structure to the downside, very impulsively, right? And then the corrective move will be looking very interesting to get that position in, right? This is why I got into this short position, believing that this is your wave 1, wave 2, right? And wave 3, based on this higher time frame scenario, right? So same scenario here. If this is going to be the end of the wave 4 and we are going to be developing this wave 5 to continue this momentum, we need that strong rejection. We need that strong big move down, and then a bounce will be looking interesting. This is possibly going to be tomorrow if we do get that rejection, to then overall get that continuation to the downside to revisit $103,000. So I need this rejection to have a little bit of confirmation to jump into the short in between 50% and the 7/8 Fibonacci, right? Keeping it clear. I want to see that big volume breakdown and then, look to hop into the short position. If we do take a look at the most important levels of support, if this is going to be the scenario that is playing out, we are forming a contracting diagonal. It's no longer an impulse because your wave 4 is overlapping your wave 1, then eventually your wave 5 will be very interesting to look for a long position. Now, where's the best possibility for that level to bounce? Well, without a doubt in my mind, it's the value area low of this entire trading zone right over here, which is sitting at $102,000. This higher low right over here, which is the value area low, this is where the volume disappears. So this has to be your support. You cannot lose the $102,000. You can revisit it. You can create that swing failure pattern. And if you do create that swing failure pattern, that is the moment that I would be interested in the long position on the swing failure pattern, stop loss at the low. And what we would be looking at is a contracting diagonal wave 5 to be finished to get then the larger rally to the upside, okay? This is overall higher time frame scenario, okay? So if we were to roll down, this becomes your most interesting long position. Considering that it is the value area low of this zone and it's a possible wave 5 finish of this contracting diagonal, okay, which you would obviously look for that rally to reclaim your wave 4, right? That could be the highs that we are creating today. Also, the other scenario, of course, the bullish one, we have a lot of resistance at the moment, right? There's no doubt about it. But there is the bullish count, right? Which is actually, continuing to the upside, right? We're either in a C wave, what we would need to see here is a continuation break, reclaim the value area low in this zone, and this could actually flip as support and get a movement to the upside. After, really reclaiming the zone. This is going to be an interesting long. We need a high volume on this breakout, okay? This is definitely fake out scenarios, the area, right, where the price could reverse. So we need a big solid move up and the retracement could backtest this level as support. Other scenario is we break through. It continues to the upside, regardless if it's a wave C here, with the general idea for the bulls yesterday, with this being an ABC movement to the upside, right, which is actually moving up. The most important level to reject, where I would be interested in a short position, is actually here at this lower high. We got the point of control of this range with the golden pocket of the overall drop from all-time high to the lows here of the last few days, right? That golden pocket with a point of control and a lower high right over here. This would be a level that I would be interested in taking that short position on the rejection, stop loss above the high. This is without a doubt a very, very likely rejection that I would be very interested to take that day trading setup, okay? Not much more has to be said. We break above the level, reclaim it. It could test as support. This is without a doubt a rejection point. So make sure to pay attention to those levels. For me to get into a short, not too interested right now. I do realize this being a larger move to the upside, okay? So I'm very, very skeptical on shorting here, even though it's a massive level of support resistance flip. I would want to see a nice rejection in a 5-wave structure, and then the bounce, could be interesting later on here throughout tomorrow, potentially, right, to get that continuation to the downside. No rush here. Okay, I did actually get stopped out today already in a short position. The people in the signals channel do know about it, okay? I did take some profits from the short position that I had throughout the last few days, took a little bit more profits. I'm going to leave some open of this position still, right? I do think that, the bearish case is still very much in play. So we'll be keeping some of that position open. Legends, if you are interested in the community signals channel, make sure to check out down below in the description. Okay, you do have the third link down below. If you want to claim those bonuses on the exchanges, you do have 15% deposit bonus on Bluffin, which is absolutely massive, of course. Okay, that's to increase your trading capital. And also on weeks, you got lots of perks here, guys, as you can see. Okay, 20% deposit bonus up to $400, $30,000 in rewards, and you also get 25% fee reduction when you sign up with the first link down below, legends. Okay, make sure to join the Telegram community, okay, because we'll be talking about some new setups throughout the next coming days. Thank you very much for joining, and I will see you in the next one.